Duval, till the day that I die. Till the nigga can't get high, ain't no heartbeat inside. Till I done gave it all I got for the city, I'ma ride. Duval, till the day that I die. Till the nigga can't get high, till ain't no heartbeat inside. Till I done gave it all I got for the city, I'ma ride.
Duval, home of the Sons and Big Cats, where these cats don't know how to act.
Lord, please excuse the Duval in us tonight, for we are going to debate, have great debates tonight. We pray that everybody on this panel puts out a good message to our audience that always watches us dearly every Tuesday nights. I even have my students coming up to me asking me questions now, which is great because we're getting a great audience now. And I pray that you bless every last one of these panelists, our cameraman, our cookbook guy in the back, Brandon doing his thing back there frying the chicken and making the Kool-Aid. And like I said, pray for everybody on this panel because they're going to get it tonight. Camo, you know what I'm saying? And in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Excuse the Duval
Jesus'
in me.
name,
All
touch
right,
him. Touch
thank
him, Lord.
y'all, yes.
Jesus' name.
He said he going to give it to all
All
of
right,
us.
we are here live at the Cookbook at 1827 North Pearl Street, and we thank everyone for tuning in and watching and coming in and also being here live. We would love to have you down here with us, but we're going to go ahead and introduce the cast as we always do, and then we'll jump right on in. We have Cap, we have Jorge, we have Jahari J the Great, and we have Camo.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. And what we're going to do, because we are about Duval, but it's a lot of things that are going on in the world. So we're going to start off with a social issue first, the Trump card.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. The U.S. recently killed an Iranian general, which prompted talks of war. How do you guys think that'll affect Jax and Duval? And should we support the president, or is it un-American not to blindly support our troops?
Can we first go say that the person who currently sits in Obama's former chair, we gonna do him like somebody else who don't get named on this show, and we just gonna run with initials. So I'll say Mr. DT. We'll run there.
That's fair.
Yeah. As for Mr.
I ain't
DT
gonna
and his choices, you ask, should we be supportive of it, or is it un-American not to blindly follow? There's been many wars that the American people have not blindly supported. The Vietnam War, World War II. Hell, we ain't even want nothing to do with World War One.
Yes.
For the most part, the average American don't want to go to war. You ain't got your nuts out there, whatever. But there's nothing un-American about saying, hey, I don't think we should send our kids to go die for. Well, normally it's over something that would benefit the U.S.
Yes.
This is unfortunately somebody's personal ego.
Yes. Personal beef.
I'd like to bring a little bit of breaking news to that and to add to what Jorge had to say. They found some new oil over in Iran as well. So it's a lot of possibilities. You got the impeachment that he's trying to avoid. It sounds like a flood. Just
Nah, that's that chicken
listen.
you was talking about. That you prayed for, he ain't come. He say, asking I shall give.
You're right. Ask and I shall throw it in the grease. Anywho, it's a lot of different variables that goes on around it. I just think that now people will see, like when people are unqualified, what could actually happen when you put people in places that are unqualified and think that they have everything under control and they really don't. And then now when things do get bad, your ego is all the way in the way. And you have, you keep trying to use the white card, the privilege card, to do whatever it is that you want just because you're rich and powerful. Now you're doing things that are putting not only us but our troops and other people in danger that's innocent. Our allies, even the people that, was just with this man. You don't know if his family was with him. You don't know anything. You just went and bombed this man while he was at the airport. You don't know who was at the airport that had nothing to do with whatever he had going on. it's just a difficult situation for everybody, and I don't support that. I'll never support a president that doesn't put his country first.
Well, it's been several presidents that were unqualified. They're just in that seat just to be in the seat because of their name half of the time. And the patriot answer to this question would be, hell yeah, you're supposed to stand for your country through thick and thin, whatever, no matter what, war and all. We one for all for one. That's on the dollar. Anyways, in God we trust.
In unibus pluribus.
Right. So, no, but the reality of it is nobody wants to go to war, bro. I don't. You got people out here with family members that's in the military right now that are, unexpectedly getting deployed to this this dangerous, atmosphere, not knowing if you're ever going to be able to speak to them again. Every day is over there is not promised. I've been over there before. It's not all shits and giggles. Sometimes it gets serious. So when you really think about it, it sucks, but somebody got to do it. I mean, you got your brave people out here that go and do it and not talk about it on social media. Then you got the ones that just make memes and make jokes about it, and never want to step foot in a uniform and actually salute their flag, and because they're so patriotic and they love their country, but you never see them serve their country. This government is all about the rich. They only care about the rich at the end of the day. So when they go over there, you got to think about our country actually only looking out for the rich and themselves. So does it affect Jacksonville? I think it affects the whole United States as a whole, but economically and around here, it's not really affecting anybody. I don't think anybody's having any issues unless you have a family member in the military that has that, that is serving the country right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's kind of weird because, like, me myself, I know we have people in the military in my family, but I don't have, like, say if Ash's husband went or somebody directly, so it's kind of like far removed from me, but I still feel they pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't have to be called up, and it's something that you signed up for. But yeah, nobody wants to risk their life. Like, you know what I mean? Most of us, we go to our job, we don't have a fear of not surviving unless you're a policeman or something of that nature. You go to work, the worst thing, you have a crummy day, horrible customer, a bad call or something if you're at a call center or whatever the case might be. My biggest problem is it just seems real opportunistic. Like, bro, they got this impeachment, which, by the way, regardless of how you voted and all that, I don't think it's going to happen. It just comes down to sheer numbers at this point. If you remember from civics, he got to have 75% of the Senate got to vote to ratify and throw him out. So right now,
most of the Senate is Republicans.
Right now, and that's why I say it come down to it comes down to the numbers. It's a numbers issue. That being set aside, it's just real funny. Like, I've been watching like both, Fox and CNN, so I'm trying to get both sides, not just the left or the right. Trying to get both sides to find out where I'm at with it. And it's just, to me, it just seems real opportunistic that right when you got all this heat on your neck, now all of a sudden this general who's been so terrible from what y'all telling me and killing Americans and doing all these atrocities to Iranians, now all of a sudden we got to take him out to where we went and got dude at an airport. We ain't catch him out there on the battlefield. And if he been doing all this, like with the whole thing with Osama, y'all came to me, y'all showed me this to do, he did this, okay, everybody was, balls out. Yeah, let's get Osama. Then next thing you know, we ended up in Afghanistan, talking about the Taliban. Nick, what? How we get over here? You feel me? It's always like, it's deeper than rap with them. So I don't really know if I can trust the administration, no matter if it's him, previous administrations or what. But, yeah, like you said, the American and patriotic thing to do is, these young men, they don't really have a say in that. They got to go. And they protecting your liberties, your freedoms to make those memes and make fun and be a total ass and jackass about it while you sit safe eating popcorn. You know what I mean? So It's kind of crazy right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, I don't take our military lightly. I don't support the president. I don't support these moves because you're putting young people good people, good soldiers, and your coward ass wouldn't even get in the war. You made up an excuse not to go in the draft.
Rich people
you
never
didn't
do,
want
bro.
to. You made up stuff to get
Y'all
in there,
could-
and now you're finna put
Bone
you
spurs.
finna send these people, innocent people, into a war zone that you caused, that you created to save your own ass. You know what I'm saying? Again. And it's with the military, and it's not right. That's why I don't support it. I don't support him. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, American, non-American.
The funny
His
part
family,
is,
his family was immigrants too.
the funny
So-
part is, like, this very moment, truthfully, was already predicted back in 2011 by someone very far and away from us, who we do not hold close to our hearts at all. He actually predicted this happening with the American president. Now, albeit he was pointing at somebody who was like, 20 times darker than him at the time sitting in the chair. But it's funny that by his exact wordings, the exact steps of what's happening right now.
Talking about DT.
Mm-hmm. He pointed at Obama saying, he's going to go to war with Iran because it's just before an election, so he's trying to save his skin and get reelected. It's real funny. You pointed that finger at him, and then you turned back around, came up, it's reelection time. You're going to war with Iran. Like, word for word, everything you said about this man while he was in office, you're doing yourself. So for all that name call he was talking about, it seemed like he was pointing at himself, because he's definitely living up to his prophecy right now.
And for this particular guy to be a monster, and this is what I hate to say about certain people when they put it in our media. For a guy to, I don't know, destroy ISIS in 3 different places, for a general to do that and then to be labeled a terrorist, but it's the same dude who fought alongside you to get rid of ISIS in 3 different places. He's a terrorist now. I'm not buying it. Like,
It's that
I'm
same
tired of-
playbook they used with Sodom. When they
Right.
wanted to
Right.
get rid of
Right.
Iran.
Right.
Iraq was our favorite son. We had Sodom. As soon as that popped off, he even told y'all, hey, man, I ain't had nothing to do with that. That wasn't me. That man was on the line. That was the most I ever heard Sodom come out and say, look, I don't want no problems. I
Yep.
ain't got nothing to do with that, bro.
Yep.
And we still found him with a beard bigger than mine. Yeah, in a hole.
And the thing that's crazy about
Who,
the thing that's crazy about that wasn't even about his situation. Wasn't even about weapons of mass destruction. It was about him changing the currency to the euro. And getting away from the dollar. He died. Muammar Gaddafi getting away from the dollar, going to
Because
gold.
he was going to make it a
gold
gold
dinar.
dinar.
Going
Oof.
to dinar. He died. It
Well, they
had
been on
nothing to
Muammar
do with
back.
these people being terrorists or
They're not gonna let that
anything.
happen
Our
either.
media has a problem once again, and I'm going to say this shit right now in front of them. Y'all have a problem
name
with
is
the
Rodney,
truth
by the way.
and the lies. Straight up. Y'all got a problem with telling the truth and getting people to believe these lies. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the American public that you lie to them so freely and openly, and our lives could be in danger, and we don't know it because you want to hide the truth.
Yes,
I seen
but
you guys
unfortunately, it
the
is
real-
right now. It becomes a conflict.
It's not fake news. It's just in the days media, you got so many, like with Dan Rather, you got so many ways of fact checking stuff. So
Yes.
like with Dan Rather, with your mans who talking about he rolled with the commandos or whatever.
Brian
you can't,
Williams.
Yeah, you can't just Brian Williams. You can't just put a story out there and we have to just eat it. It's
Yeah.
always somebody out there at a computer who, bruh, remember this, and they'll pull up just like with those tweets.
Right.
They'll pull it up now, so you got to be careful how reckless you get in going off script. So in a way, it's good that we do have a way of checking them, but unfortunately, you don't know who to believe. A lot of people just sit and get their news third. Like I say, whenever I formulate my own opinion, I look at both sides of it. I watch Fox. Remember, you used to get mad at me and be like, why are you watching Rush Limbaugh? Because I need to know what they think. If I'm going to be opposed to what you say, I need to know
What it is you
what it
actually
is
think.
you're saying
Yeah.
that I'm opposed to, not that just somebody else told me that y'all don't like African Americans or y'all make it hard on third world nation people who look like me or whatever the case might be. You know what I mean? I try to make my own self informed, then formulate my opinion.
Truth on news and media, it's not that it's fake news. It's just that we have to understand that all news outlets are first and foremost spinning a perspective. Fox News was actually created as a puppet news network specifically for the Republican network because MSNBC was the puppet news for the Democratic network. CNN was supposed to be the middle guy.
And money is involved now.
But we have to understand that each side is putting out stories, including newspapers, your gossipers, your bloggers, everybody. They put it out with a perspective on it. So when we're watching it, like those your heavy Fox News, they're being fed a perspective all day. Then you go back to CNN or MSNBC, you get fed two different perspectives. So to really be able to differentiate what they're feeding us, like you said, you have to watch more than one outlet to get the full spectrum, but then you also have to dilute through the perspectives that they sold you that story. Because like they'll paint you a story of this person was a killer and a thug and they got arrested and all that. But then if you actually dig into that person's history, you find out maybe that person came from a house where it was a horrible, toxic environment. The parents were on dope. They were beating the kid every day. I'm sorry, you have to take some compassion and understanding to recognize that this person was not raised in a normalized way of life. So his
They'll bring up
actions are
that
not
same
normal.
sob story when their kids go to court.
Straight up. Every time.
And
It worked too.
It
Unfortunately, only for them.
it was so crazy, just like with
The
when
complexion for
Obama
the protection.
when Obama was running, and remember Jeremiah Wright, they killed him for, how could you be a member of that church? And then how many of us going to African American, predominantly African American churches, haven't heard Reverend say similar stuff to Jeremiah Wright? Because of our history of the affliction that this country has put on us. We're in a weird space. Black people or African Americans, we love America, but at the same time, we just not going to blindly forget what was done to us. You can't.
All right.
You can't.
You see Nana and them right here. This wasn't that long ago. People seem to think like civil rights and all this happened like 800 years ago or something. And it was really like 30 or 40 years ago. You feel me?
This is one lifetime ago.
Yeah, you feel me? So you got people who, they right here, you talk to them, the elders, they were affected by this. And so it's hard to just move on past that, especially since y'all don't want to
talk about it.
Yeah, y'all don't want to talk about it real. Y'all want to like dance around it. Yeah.
Right.
Just acknowledge it.
You know what I mean? Acknowledge it.
But
I don't even, like we talk about reparation, I don't even think people would really be on that reparation thing like that if y'all just acknowledge it and then put something positive for to help and acknowledge y'all shortcoming. You know what I mean?
Promote a
You can't
positive black image. Stop giving us this negative self-image.
Right,
Stop
you
making
can't-
us think that we're ugly. Stop feeding us dolls
You
that
can't-
don't look like
stealing
us.
our Styles and Steve,
Right,
which we're going to
making
talk about
millions
later,
off of it.
Derry
You
Lock.
can't celebrate 9/11 without mentioning slavery. Sorry,
Absolutely.
You can't celebrate 9/11 without mentioning Tulsa,
Yeah.
Oklahoma, and
Yeah,
what
him
y'all
and your
did
boy
there.
bopping out there. Yeah, I see
Right.
y'all out there stealing. Y'all coaching votes.
Yeah,
Nah, but in this segment, man, look, you don't never know what's going on over there until you over there.
That's real.
So
I put it to you like this. I agree with Cap. It's a war on our people, man. Regardless, it don't matter what
It's how
region
you
you
look
in.
at it.
No matter what region you in,
What you say?
it's a war on our people.
Real nigga, sand nigga, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't
It's a war
matter.
on
That's
our
who.
people.
I mean, really, look at the military. Who joining up? Who signing up to really basically risk your life? It's usually impoverished
Yes.
African American, Latinos,
Or
poor white people who they
Yeah.
consider.
They
We gonna
deported.
say it, wiggers,
Niggas.
niggas, white niggas. Yeah, y'all white niggas. Ocean Way.
And then
Holla
on
back.
and then on top of that, you got guys as Latino, Mexican, whatever. They parents being deported and shit, and put in these camps. Their mothers have to drink out of toilets. They kids being raped, and right up under this same president who just did this shit, and nobody's saying anything. So my whole point is this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
No, it was even before Obama. Y'all can't just make like
I mean,
it
it's
was
bigger
just,
than the president.
It's bigger than
though.
the president.
We usually get focused on the president because he's the
shit
poster
going deep
boy
and bad,
for.
bro.
Yeah, but it's deeper than that. It's about America. That's why I always say America.
we just put it on DT because he's our
We don't
president.
like him.
it
And
ain't
we don't
that.
like his
Is
view.
that he speaks openly about it, openly against it.
And what's
right?
so would you rather not know about it or somebody aggressively telling you the truth sometimes and you biting it and eating it? Not saying I'm a Trump supporter at all. I'm just saying it's presidents down the line, down the years
But
that
don't-
never spoke up and said nothing about it.
But-
All the same shit was happening.
But don't do that, because at the end of the day, now you finna start something. Because if you leave the office, it's gonna be a problem. And if you stay in, it's gonna be a problem. Whether you gonna
It
have
was
to
already
deal-
a problem.
It's not that. We're gonna have to deal with a possible civil war or a world war.
We already at war. We never ended that last war when they did the 9/11. That shit never was over.
I'm saying
That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. That shit's still going on,
Hey,
bro.
check this
We
out.
still over there in the same damn country, bro, bothering these folks, bro.
This is a lovely subject we on, but y'all know we got like 7 more topics to hit. Let's get this moving.
You know, but
Power
we
to the
just
people.
wanted
Power.
to address, what's going on in the country, because it will trickle down and affect our local.
No,
Absolutely.
because we are a military town,
Yes,
and I'm
we
just
are.
waiting.
And
And
people
that's
are
why
gonna
I
be
want to know.
deployed. That stuff affects the local family
How
and
people
then the
feel.
local community.
It'll-
we gonna
it'll-
see more military trucks moving through the area.
Yeah, because
Yes.
you could be salty, but then you see, Johnny Blue come through and they got on their little stuff supporting the troops. It make you feel a kind of way, and you like, damn, should I really be like getting him this much? The man over there risking his life for me to be sour, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got their opinion to it. Like when we came back from the first deployment, people was calling us baby killers at the airport.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We had to eat that shit.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
been like that since
Bruh,
Vietnam. My
we
old
can't do
boy was
nothing
telling
about
me
it.
about it,
And
bro.
you know,
So
we get that. But my point is
that's
this:
crazy though.
when y'all going,
I'm not gonna aim at them boys.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: America face y'all real problem, man. Y'all real beef with y'all don't do that with them white folks over there. Y'all don't. Y'all don't do that shit with Russia. Y'all don't do that shit with all the stuff that they've been doing. Better than not, y'all won't point no guns or missiles or drop shit over there. Why? Okay. Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
One more thing, because I can go on all day about this. Iran has no central bank,
Thinking. Yeah. North
Bingo.
Korea. North Korea.
and we could just leave it right there.
North
about
Korea.
every-
North Korea. No central banking.
It's either lay down or get down. Y'all know what it is. We've been doing it since the place we named after, Andrew Jackson.
Well, we wanted to make sure that we addressed that and stepped out on that to let people know that we're not just here about sports. We're here about everything that's gonna eventually.
let me
This
get
black
up on the
community
body.
is
All right, y'all
educated.
can holler.
Yes, yes.
This black community is
All right.
educated.
Ball till the day that I die. Till the nigga can't get high. Ain't no heartbeat inside. Till I done gave it all I got for the city. I'ma ride. Duval till the day that I die. Till the nigga can't get high. Till ain't no heartbeat inside. Till I done gave it all I got for the city. I'ma ride.
Duval, home of the Suns and Big Cats, where these cats don't know how to act. The murder rate goes up along with the number of max choppers and gas. But we can be laid back, a city of Southern Max, pushing everything from business.